She stood in court beside the man who once promised to protect her, but instead of loyalty, he used the courtroom to destroy her. In front of strangers, he called his black wife worthless, mocked her pain, and tried to erase everything she had sacrificed. The room stayed silent as humiliation filled the air. He believed he had already won. He believed no one powerful would stand beside her. But then the courtroom doors opened, and one unexpected woman changed everything in seconds. He looked up and all the confidence left his face. Who was she and why did seeing her terrify him? For years, Vanessa carried a marriage that looked perfect from the outside. She was intelligent, hardworking, and deeply respected in her community, but inside her own home, respect was something she rarely received. She had helped build her husband Marcus from the ground up. When his business struggled, she worked longer hours. When debts piled up, she sacrificed her savings. When doors closed on him, she stood beside him and pushed forward. To everyone else, Marcus appeared polished, successful, and charming. He knew how to smile in public, how to shake hands, how to make strangers believe he was a man of character. But behind closed doors, that image disappeared. He grew colder as his status rose. The more attention he received, the less humanity he showed the woman who helped him rise. Vanessa endured years of subtle insults, dismissive comments, and the kind of cruelty designed to leave no visible scars. He mocked her skin tone, her family, and her worth whenever no one else was around. Then, when the marriage finally collapsed, Marcus decided divorce was not enough. He wanted humiliation. He used his money, his influence, and his confidence to drag her into court, believing he could strip away her dignity in front of everyone. Vanessa entered that courtroom carrying more than legal papers. She carried years of pain, betrayal, and silence. Marcus walked in smiling. He thought this would be the day he finished breaking her. He had no idea someone far more powerful was already on the way. The courtroom filled quickly that morning. Lawyers shuffled papers, strangers whispered, and polished shoes echoed across the floor. To everyone watching, it looked like an ordinary divorce hearing. But for Vanessa, it felt like walking into the final chapter of years of humiliation. Marcus arrived first, dressed in confidence and expensive fabric. He greeted people with the same practiced charm that had fooled so many before. He laughed with his attorney, nodded at spectators, and never once looked concerned. He had money, connections, and the belief that power always bends in his direction. Vanessa entered quietly. She wore no display of wealth, no performance, no smile built for strangers, only composure. But beneath that calm was the weight of every insult she had swallowed to survive. She could already feel eyes on her. Some recognized Marcus. Some recognized the headlines around his growing business empire. Few recognized the woman who helped create it. Then the hearing began. Marcus moved first. Through carefully prepared statements and polished lies, he painted Vanessa as unstable, bitter, and undeserving. He described her sacrifices as failures. He described her patience as weakness. He described her pain as manipulation. Every sentence was sharpened to cut her down. Then he crossed a line no one expected. He turned years of private racism into public attack. He mocked the features she inherited with pride. He reduced her heritage to insults. He spoke as if the black woman beside him had no value except what she once gave him. Gasps moved through the room. Some lowered their eyes, others stared in disbelief. Vanessa did not react. That silence unsettled him more than anger ever could. So Marcus pushed harder. He demanded assets she had helped protect. He asked the court to deny her support. He insisted she deserved nothing. He wanted her to leave with empty hands and a shattered spirit. To him, victory was not separation. Victory was seeing her broken. The judge's seat remained empty. A delay had been announced earlier, and Marcus used every extra minute like a stage performer given more time. He paced confidently, smirked at Vanessa's attorney, and acted as if the courtroom already belonged to him. But something strange began to shift. Staff members near the front stood straighter. A clerk rushed in carrying updated files. Two senior attorneys who had been casually chatting suddenly fell silent. Even Marcus's own lawyer stopped writing and looked toward the side entrance. Marcus noticed it too. For the first time that morning, uncertainty touched his face. Vanessa remained still, hands folded, eyes forward. Then a court officer opened the chamber doors wider than before. Footsteps approached, measured, calm, commanding. The entire room rose at once. Marcus turned, expecting another official, another delay, another routine interruption. Instead, he saw a woman he recognized instantly. Older now, dignified, unshaken. A woman he had insulted years ago. A woman he once dismissed because of her skin, her background, and the family she came from, Vanessa's mother. And she was walking directly toward the bench. The room froze as Vanessa's mother reached the bench. Marcus's confidence vanished so quickly it was almost visible. Moments earlier, he had owned the room with smirks and polished cruelty. Now his face drained of color. His hands, once steady, fumbled with the papers in front of him. He understood the truth before anyone said a word. The woman he had mocked for years was the judge assigned to his case. She took her seat with calm authority, not a trace of anger on her face. That silence was more powerful than any outburst could have been. She did not look at Marcus first. She looked at Vanessa. And in that glance was something Vanessa had not felt in years inside a courtroom, inside a marriage, or inside herself. Respect. Then the hearing resumed. Every lie Marcus had delivered minutes earlier was pulled into the light. Financial records were reviewed, hidden transfers surfaced. Property documents revealed Vanessa's direct contributions. Witness statements exposed patterns of emotional abuse he thought would remain buried forever. The polished image he built began collapsing piece by piece. He tried to interrupt, denied. He tried to explain, too late. He tried to reclaim control with the same arrogance that had carried him through life, but each attempt only exposed him further. The room that once watched Vanessa in silence was now watching Marcus unravel. Vanessa sat motionless, but tears filled her eyes, not from weakness, from release. Years of being dismissed, degraded, and reduced to nothing were ending in the one place Marcus believed he could destroy her. Then came the final blow. The court recognized Vanessa's financial sacrifices, granted her rightful share, and formally documented Marcus's misconduct. His requests were rejected. His manipulation was named. His power was stripped of its disguise. For the first time, Marcus had no charm left to hide behind. He looked toward Vanessa, hoping to see pain. Instead, he saw peace. And that was the one thing he could never take back. When the courtroom emptied, Marcus walked out alone. No crowd surrounded him, no confidence remained. The image he spent years building had shattered in a single morning. Money could not protect him. Status could not save him. And the cruelty he used to control others had finally returned to him as consequence. Vanessa did not celebrate. She stepped outside into the daylight carrying something far more valuable than a legal victory. She carried her name back. She carried her dignity back. She carried the parts of herself that had been chipped away through years of insults, disrespect, and racism disguised as marriage. For so long, Marcus believed prejudice could live in private without punishment. He believed the words spoken behind closed doors did not matter. He believed humiliating a black woman would never cost him anything. He was wrong, because racism is not always loud. Sometimes it hides in relationships, workplaces, courtrooms, and smiles. Sometimes it wears expensive clothes and speaks politely in public. Sometimes it survives because people around it choose silence, but silence does not erase harm. Vanessa's story became a reminder that injustice can last years, but truth only needs one moment to break through. One document, one witness, one person willing to stand firm. One day when power no longer protects cruelty. Some wounds do not show on the skin. They live in memory, confidence, and the slow damage of being told you are less than human. And yet, even those wounds can heal when dignity is restored. So the real question is not whether Marcus lost in court. The real question is how many people are still losing every day in rooms where no one speaks up. If this story moved you, share it. Start the conversation. Because every time truth is spoken, injustice loses a little more ground.